So, fellas, and my hard R fellers that have joined the channel, we have Conor, or Counterpoints, up to his old tricks again. This guy really puts onions in my ice cream sundae, to say it politely. He has a 2-year history of transparently grifting as the sensible anti-Trump conservative that takes money from Democrats to get Democrats elected. Here's a playlist of my videos on that very topic. Luckily, we have Rob Noerr in attendance to prolapse this pathetic husk. They have a heated rivalry, and I'm gonna assist Rob's counter-arguments with several receipts and context. Now, the woman facilitating this conversation does some of the worst moderating I've ever seen in a casual debate. Let me give you a glimpse of Conor's constant antagonization and Destiny debate tactics, while she, for no discernible reason, tries to both sides the moderation in this debate.
Okay, Rob, you work with Andrew Wilson.
He hasn't said that people deserve to die.
Hold on.
The caveat on you working with him if he has underage pornographic material is.
Rob. Hold on, Rob. I don't
was the end of my sentence. I was going to say.
Because you're morally grandstanding.
But you wouldn't let me get that last part of the sentence out. Instead, you spurred out over and over. So now that you've admitted, I understand your tactic here. I understand your tactic here, Conor. I get it. I don't give a shit. I'll keep talking. I understand your tactic. This is what I know you learned from your daddy, Destiny. Like, I understand this is what you do. You're just going to talk over me because you're incapable of actually listening to the point in the bit. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to stop talking. I'm tired of this. You keep talking over me. You're going to allow me to finish my point. You're going to allow me to finish my point. I don't give a shit.
Boys. That's enough.
Lady, what do you want Rob to do when Conor is going... Either he says nothing, or he tries to appeal to the moderator to be like, hey, can you step in? Or then he speaks. Like, this is not enjoyable. Can't you see what Conor is doing? And the crazy thing is, she has to know the history between Conor and Rob. She knows what's going on in Destiny's life, and how this guy is just sweeping for Destiny no matter what he does, just for clout, and to get attention, and to be the right-wing pick-me. So you already know that going into it. So even if you were biased as a moderator, people would understand because he's a very detestable, annoying, Destiny debate tactic person. But even if you were trying to be moderate and unbiased in your moderation, you would call out Conor for interrupting with just obfuscation and completely taking things off the rails. Like, an unbiased referee doesn't call an equal amount of fouls on both sides. An unbiased referee calls fouls on who's committing all the fouls. Oh my god, it's insufferable. I don't know how or why that was the method of moderation. But anyways, let us begin the interrogation of how Conor can still work with Destiny through all of his rhetoric about headhunting Republicans, which allegedly Conor is a Republican, and through all of his multiple sex crime allegations and scandals. Not even just now, but throughout history.
Was the killing of Charlie Kirk justified, Conor?
No.
Do you think that conservatives should fear for their life to be in public?
No.
Do you think that you should actively work with and support someone who thinks that?
Not without criticism, no.
So as long as you criticize someone saying that, then it's legitimate that you work with them and get money and get clout from them.
Okay. Yeah.
Your goal, correct me if I'm wrong, this is what you've said, your goal working with Destiny. I've seen you give 2 arguments. It was like pulling teeth, but you've given them. One was because you need to work with him because it would take you 10 years to accomplish what you want in your channel without him, correct?
Yeah. Yes. I work with influential people to gain influence. Rob,
so
you do the same
So
thing.
you need to work with Destiny, who's saying that conservatives should fear for their lives in public so that it helps your channel accelerate faster. That's that argument.
Okay. Rob, you work with Andrew Wilson.
And the train is running right on time for a brazenly bad faith equivocation. In order to conform reality to save his bacon, Conor has to reduce Rob's point of Conor working directly with Destiny, who is a well-known sex pest in multiple legal cases. And I'll add this in myself, Destiny's son is running around wild on the internet, clearly neglected, Nazi posting to rebel against his father, and of course Destiny's open justifications for violence against the right. So of course that's the same thing as Rob working with Andrew Wilson, right? Rob didn't even defend Andrew Wilson being unable to open a jar, he literally made fun of him for it. Like a man. Let's explore the depths of this cope.
Do you believe that Destiny said that conservatives should fear for their lives?
Yeah, I heard that.
Do you believe that Destiny is an immoral sex pest?
I think that Steven's sex past or sex life is immoral.
Did you say that, quote, when talking about this, that no one is more sex negative than you?
Yes.
So that would imply that you find what he's done to be very egregious when it comes to his sexual activities.
No. So
you don't.
Let's parse this.
Okay.
Okay. What Steven is accused of doing, which obviously I morally condemn, is he is accused of sexting a girl that he believed to be 18 or 19, who lied about her age, who created homemade pornography, shared it with him, and he shared homemade pornography with that other person. Now, on the scale of things, yes, this is bad, condemn it. I hate promiscuity. I think sharing fucking homemade pornography with random fucking people is cringe, disgusting, gross, whatever, okay? However, if you compared that to Andrew Tate, somebody who sex trafficked women and forcibly raped them, I'm not going to pretend that Stephen and Andrew Tate are the same.
Well, okay, no one would pretend that's the same, but nonetheless, that doesn't force you. That doesn't force you to work with the person that you don't think's as bad as Andrew Tate. I'll ask one more specific question about Destiny's sex life. The only reason I bring it up is because you specifically said that you found it grotesque. If you would have just said, I don't believe it or it's not a big deal to me, then I wouldn't even address it. I don't give a shit. But you're the one who said that
Hold on. You think that I can't work with people with whom I disagree vociferously about their personal lives?
Well, it's one thing to disagree with personal life. It's another thing to think someone's grotesquely immoral and work with them. I'll ask this last question. I'll ask this last question because I really find this part of it to be the least interesting part. If it does turn out that he has videos of someone who's under the age of 18 still saved on his computer, would you continue working with him because he's influential?
No.
Conor invokes but there's a genocide in Gaza argument. Yeah, but his destiny this is like a relative morality. Yeah, but Destiny's not as bad as Andrew Tate. Yeah, but Andrew Tate isn't as bad as Ted Bundy. There's no foundational principle there. What are you conserving if you're on the right? And let's not forget about this question.
If it does turn out that he has videos of someone who's under the age of 18 still saved on his computer, would you continue working with him because he's influential?
No.
Well, open and shut case, fellas. I guess I can stop the video now. There's no way he could squirm out of that, right? Unless, of course, he finds a caveat.
No, but I'm gonna go ahead and caveat that. Okay, if he had solo making allegations in November 29th of 2024, and he did not believe those allegations, and he held on to it as a part of his legal court case. And then, once it was alleged with confirmed information via Kiwi Farms, he put that on a thumb drive and he says, I believe that these people were creating homemade pornography that is illegal. Here, law enforcement, do what you want with it. I think that I don't give a fuck.
I reported Destiny to the police. This is not clickbait and entirely has to do with the DMs he sent me.
How'd you like that edit? Don't you love how Clout Schwab over here has to pivot to a hypothetical when we have something in tangible reality that Rob Noerr is alluding to that I'm gonna bring up right now?
I usually wait for all the details to come out before I comment. This is not why I went to the police. It's because he continued to write. I didn't know this until way later, but the videos she recorded with other guys, the file names are like screen recording, blah, blah, blah. And then he shows me a screenshot of the top of a video clip and says, her boyfriend was recording these on Skype calls. That's absolutely insane to think about him doing all of this if she was 17. Well, this is insane to me because he's saying Rose's boyfriend recorded CP while sending me a screenshot of the alleged CP. So I asked to confirm if he just did that. If you were sending me this, I'm guessing you still have that video. Destiny replies, depends on why you're asking. But yes, I created copies of all of our messages and everything when that court case started. Just to be clear, he's admitting to having alleged CP downloaded on his computer. He literally has the video open as I'm talking to him. I go, bruh, there's been allegations at least since my last video that she was underage, and you still have potential CP of her? He replies, I have an obligation to preserve relevant evidence, etc. So I created backups of all of the important / relevant conversations. He continues, I don't think I'm allowed to delete it, lol. I don't know if it counts as hiding / destroying evidence. And I reply, talk to a lawyer, that seems crazy to me. Who keeps this sort of stuff on their computer without 100% knowing if they're supposed to or not? Isn't that something you want to confirm? I continued, you just let me know you have CP videos saved to your computer. You knew it was alleged that she was underage. You still have them. Do you see how this is. So now I've confirmed that this guy has child porn on his computer. In my 8 years of reaching out to people over allegations, I've never had anyone admit that to me.
Oh yeah, dude. Destiny's defense, after immediately sharing CSAM, just so you know, pornography has a possible consent element to it, so it has been renamed Child Sexual Abuse Material, or CSAM, which I think is ethical and makes perfect sense. Destiny's defense is, wait, I'm not done with it. I might need it later. I wouldn't want to get in trouble for getting rid of it. I should make the obvious move and possess it until I need it. You know, just in case I have to distribute it like I did in this very moment. I'm pretty sure if you think you have it, you just give it to the police. If you think you have it, you give it to them. You don't hang on to it. So even in Conor's wildest hypothetical, that's fucking crazy, dude. Oh my god, wasn't Conor a cop? Was there ever a situation where somebody was like, I have CSAM, and Conor was like, whoa, you might want to hang on to that? Don't give it to me. You have a pending litigation. Don't file a police report and legally hand it out of your possession. Hang on to that. Don't delete it. Make sure you still have it on your computer. And then, if we need it, we'll contact you. Conor would do that. Knowing all of this, let's watch Rob the Saint try to continue a constructive dialogue with Conor with the worst moderation.
Because all I was trying to get you to admit is there are things that Destiny could do that you would say, despite the fact he's influential, I don't want to work with him. But you wouldn't let me get that last part of the sentence out. Instead, you spurred out over and over. So now that you've admitted... You're going to let me finish my point. I don't give a shit.
Boys, that's enough.
I would like to make a point.
I would like to finish my point.
One at a time.
I don't care about your point. I would like to make my point first.
All right. Listen, we're gonna go one at a time.
I have like 3 more minutes worth of shit, and then I'll leave.
One at a time.
No, I would like to make my point.
Go ahead, baby.
You go on your thing.
Go ahead.
And just like that, she does absolutely nothing and just says, hey, one at a time. Were you listening? Did you listen to who interrupted who? And how Rob was trying to differentiate between, it's not just that he's popular or has clout, it's his character, and it's things that you vehemently disagree with. Even in the span of time I'm saying that, Conor would be chiming in, obfuscating, going, no. And so Rob, like the more mature person, goes, fine, go ahead. He's not getting any help from the moderator. That's what makes it frustrating to watch. It's already frustrating to watch. But when you're not moderating for the sake of a good conversation, it's such a misstep.
Okay. So, if you're being good faith, you'll recognize that effectively what I'm doing is I'm consenting to an interrogation. You're speaking for 2/3 of the runtime, and then I'm answering your questions. Then you're jumping to your next question. So, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you, like, interrogating my values, virtues, questions, whatever. But if I have a point to make, or if I feel like you're asking a question that implies something, I'm going to interrupt you in order to point it out. And if you're not an asshole, you'll let me do it.
Okay, thank you for adding that point that you needed to get out that rubbed nothing for this whatsoever. Now that you've admitted that there's things that could be done, now that you've admitted that there's things that you could do, that someone could do that would make them, even if they were influential, you not want to work for them, I have a couple more questions. Do you consider yourself a conservative?
Yes.
And you'll acknowledge that Destiny said conservatives should fear for their lives to go in public?
Yes, I will also add to the fact, hold on, stop. I told you that you're running an interrogation and I want to
just make your point. The meta shit's irrelevant. Go.
Okay, so stop interrupting. So.
This is why Rob is an absolute saint. Try to follow me. You see, Conor has been interrupting Rob during his open and shut case of how much of a piece of shit Conor is, to finally get to speak, to tell Rob he's going to keep interrupting him. When Conor goes to explain the exact same thing a second time, Rob says, I don't need the meta conversation. In this context, meta just means having a conversation about the conversation. It's an obfuscation instead of talking about the actual topic. As Rob tells Conor to make his point, Conor tells Rob to stop interrupting him, which causes Rob to lay down a 10 out of 10 Tim the Toolman Taylor. So Rob is finally going to get a chance to speak and listen to Conor's response and what he has to say to defend himself.
The entire context of that sentence, which I disagree with, which I've spent 5 hours criticizing, is the fact that he said that conservatives should fear for their lives going to public events and should fear being killed in order to pressure their leadership to turn the temperature down. That's the full context of the quote.
Yes, I understand the context of the quote. He wants people like me
You
and
didn't
other.
say the context of the quote.
Let me finish. He wants people like me and people that are conservatives, including you and people in your family that presumably be conservative, to fear for their lives. And he has a rationale because he thinks they should do that because he doesn't like the way he votes. I find that to be despicable. The fact that you're willing to work with a man. Let me finish, and then you can finish your point. The fact that you're willing to work with a man who said this, who said the following thing: the worst thing that could have happened was the assassin's bullet not hitting Trump, who said many times that he's tired of conservatives and wants them killed. The fact that you're willing to work with a man who said that, and your argument is, but I have to do it for clout and for money, shows the despicable character that you have.
Okay, so I would like to make a point. There are, as a matter of fact, I've made beautiful drawings. I would love it if you reacted to my drawings, Rob. I'm going to go ahead and pull one up, okay?
Conor's like a serial killer dude. He's like a psychopath. He's being confronted with these direct accusations, and he's like, "Want to see my drawings?" No, I'd like you just to answer the question. Stop interrupting, stop talking about your drawings, and just address the obvious criticism that everyone has of you. It's like a variant of James Lindsay. It really is incredible. But this creature has another fascinating behavior. You see, when Rob is bringing up all the obvious issues that many people have with Destiny, that's morally grandstanding.
What was the end of my sentence? I was going to say...
Because you're morally grandstanding.
Here you go.
Because you're morally grandstanding. Because you're morally grandstanding.
Conor accuses Rob of simply using his criticisms of Destiny in a nefarious plot to only make himself seem like a good person. A 28th degree black belt projection, I agree. Now, if my editing is decent, you should feel like I'm about to show you Conor morally grandstanding. And I am. So now you see it coming. I ruined the surprise. Let's see if I can still pull this off. Tell me if you think Conor's moral condemnation of Trump is performative and feigning moral outrage as a rhetorical tactic.
Donald Trump, through the PEPFAR cuts, is projected to kill 3 million people through AIDS. He is projected to kill 11 million people through cholera, through dengue, through malaria over the next 5 years in order to save 0.16% of the federal budget. And then he slashed taxes, meaning that he didn't even save any fucking money. He just is projected to kill 14 million people. Not only that, conservatives have laughed as they have deported people without due process to a fucking gulag in El Salvador. And then they've laughed as innocent people have been tortured and...
You think that's morally grandstanding? No.
I think that while 3 million people dying from preventable disease is horrific, and the fact that you just sidestep that is repulsive to me.
That's morally grandstanding. You know, it's one thing for Conor to gish gallop his way through all of these horrible things that Trump is doing, indirectly killing millions of people. You would think that's morally grandstanding. He really slides a finger in up to the second knuckle by going, "I think this thing's horrific, and I think you're a piece of shit for not also thinking it's horrific." They're demons. Oh, I'm sorry, am I morally grandstanding by calling him a demon? Let's hear his rationalization as to why he needs clout to get as much money and power as possible.
Loud Scissor says, Rob got blown out by Destiny over Obama, and that is why he is obsessed.
That's not true. I would suggest there's one person that's probably getting blown out by Destiny, and it ain't me.
Cope more, Rod. Cope more.
Oh, man. On target.
Okay. So this is one of the things. This is why this insult is not landing on me, okay? Is because we work within a democratic republic. And guess what clout is? Clout is popularity. Do you know what money is? Money is energy. It's the ability to take energy and spend it towards things that you believe in. So you say that I want clout. You're saying that I want popularity within a democracy. That's true. Do you know what you also say? You want money. You're right. I want money because I want energy in order to spend it on things that I care about. But I would also love to do things. I'm in a little political group called the Real Republicans, and we're coming up with crazy ideas on what to do with this money in order to make the world a better place. So the fact that you think that I'm just snorting these fucking drugs or I'm running a second family or banging hookers, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. You're criticizing something that everybody within politics does. And by the way, do you know what politics is without clout and money? Do you know what politics is without influence? It's having an opinion. I'm not interested in having an opinion. I'm interested in politics.
Oh, so this is absolute Kino, mate. Conor is so cock-hungry, he brought up his non-existent group called The Real Republicans.
I'm in a little political group called The Real Republicans.
I checked his X account, he's never mentioned them. So definitely give him money to put into this group that doesn't exist. But he's so jizz drunk, he already forgot about Valor Media. You know, the organization he's actually a part of. A whole syndicate of no-name fake right-wingers serving Democrats. Let's take a look at how small all of their dicks are, for science. Look at all the people in the banner on this channel. They got 20,000 subs. These people do not make money, they take money. They are not earning the revenue to keep this channel sustainable. Let's look at the live videos. And would you look at that, it's just Conor. Conor already has one foot out the door of Valor Media by inventing a new organization he's going to be a part of. He unequivocally learned this tactic at the School of Hard Cocks taught by Brianna Wu. But this is about politics, right? Valor Media, with 20,000 subs, has gotten 55,000 views in the last month, with 100 more subscribers. Now, Counterpoints, Conor, with 8.25 thousand subs, got 63,000 views in the last month, with an additional 600 subs. So his own channel is doing better than Valor Media, which, you know, he's name brand recognized. This is Conor we're talking about, okay? This guy has sold his soul to associate with Destiny and do whatever he has to do to be politically effective. I, rhetorically defective, with 6,000 subs, have gotten 95,000 views, with 960 subs in the last 30 days. And would you look at that, Conor? I didn't have to sell my soul. I didn't have to betray my principles at all whatsoever. And my dick is still bigger than yours. You fucking pussy. And yeah, Conor, I kiss your mother with this mouth, son. So cool it with your political effective talk of all of these associations you've had and how you're a complete consequentialist with no morals or principles and all you care about is obtaining power. You just want money. It shows. People can tell that. And that's why even still your engagement is kind of pathetic. You're gonna do all of that? That's like you meeting a woman at a bar who's a 4 out of 10. She's fat. Not as fat as your wife. But, oh dude, his wife is a dirty pig. This is like instead of just going and fucking her, you like really try, and you really try really hard to have sex with her. And after 3 weeks, you finally get it. Meanwhile, I'm fucking 6s in the same night, buddy. Fellas, demon. Okay, let's get back into it.
Okay, I'll answer this. I wonder if that group you're in with those Republicans, your super cool Republican group, if they too fear for their lives like Destiny wants when they go out, right? Won't that be great? You can't control yourself. You absolutely can't control yourself. It's pathetic.
Everybody be quiet.
Right? Like, it's absolutely pathetic.
You're a pussy.
I'm not a pussy. I'm directly addressing. I come in and debate you at any time. You're the person that had to rage quit last time after spurging out homophobic slurs. You're the person that's so much of a. There you go.
Rob.
There's the.
While you're taking the high road, did you say something about my wife? Did you say something about my wife, Mr. Man of Honor?
Yes. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah. So don't take the high road with me, Rob. Nobody believes me.
Now, I know it's difficult.
I prefer to keep the personal stuff off the screen if we can. I don't want to hear anything about anybody's life.
You bring my wife or you bring my family into it, you bring my honor into it, I'm going to call you the F slur. And if we were in person and you said that shit to my face, it would get personal.
Conor, sweetheart, we can see your gash from here. Don't act tough. You don't have honor. God knows what kind of role model you are for your kids when we've seen what your principles are. Now, we can agree I've dug myself into quite a hole. I made fun of his wife, which is completely inappropriate. Judge me for that. Condemn me for that. Allow me to state my case, though. You see, Conor's feral wife started talking smack to Rob first. Rob responded in kind. Conor knows this, and both Rob and Conor were cool with it.
By the way, the only reason I'm doing this is because your wife was funny on X.
She can be rude.
It didn't bother me.
She's pretty funny.
It did not bother me at all. I hope, listen, on all seriousness, fuck you. You're a sack of shit for what you're saying here. But I've never insulted your family and don't plan on it. I would go at her because she came at me online. But
I told her.
I was not like.
I told her. She wanted me to defend her honor, and I was like, "You went crazy at Rob. Rob can say a little bit of crazy shit back. Fair's fair."
I don't think I was going over the line or anything, but
okay.
It didn't bother me at all. I thought it was funny. So
okay.
So let's end it here. Conor was completely fine sicking his rabies wife on Rob. Then, like an undomesticated mutt, she wanted to drag Conor into it to defend her honor. But you see, consequentialist Conor just cares about obtaining more power. So he's going to act like a big, strong man, like he's the protector of the household because Rob went after his wife. That's just another lie. Whenever I confront Conor about his lies, he blocks me. I would tell him to just shut his fat wife's mouth up by mashing his pecker into it, but it would barely fill the gap in her teeth, and unfortunately, we'd still be able to hear that useless chicken clucking. The mocking will continue until morale improves. Have a good one. You are dismissed, Conor.